bed. I said, all right. So she said, okay, bye. We'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow. That plate will be empty, blah, blah, blah. So we walk back to the campsite. Mike right away we all go into the tent. We close the door. Mike goes to his cot to the far left. I go into mine. I step into mine or get into my cot. Robin goes over to hers, right? So now on Robin's side, she put down AstroTurf, a little piece of AstroTurf, because she likes to wiggle her toes in it. She said, "Oh, it feels so good on her feet." Spiders don't care about AstroTurf. Mice don't either. Snakes don't care. They'll all crawl into it because it's there. So she gets into her sleeping bag, and I get into mine, and Mike's in his, and Mike's right away. He's asleep. I am sitting and listening to Nervous Nelly over here. So, Miss, I got it all. I got Bigfoot figured out. She gets all zipped in, and all I see of her face is this. So it looks like she's sleeping like almost in a mummy bag. I looked really comfortable. My sleeping bag's more wide open. And I get into it, and I'm comfortable. I'm just kind of laying there listening to this. And she goes, now, Patrick, whatever you do, you cannot go to sleep before me. I said, why? She goes, because if something happens to me over here, you need to be witness to it. Oh, so I can't sleep through it? And she goes, no, you can't sleep through it. So I feel like I'm losing my voice. So almost on cue, she's all nestled in. She's all curled up. She's like, oh, this is nice. This is nice. Oh, she's all calm. She's calming down. And then we hear a stick breaks right outside her tent, right outside her side of the tent. She's like, no. I said, what are you freaking out about? She goes, you heard the stick break. I said, yes, but that could have been a deer. That could have been a raccoon. Could have been anything. She goes, no, I'm not going to deal with this. So she unzips herself, gets out of her sleeping bag, picks up her chair, puts it on the cot, slides the cot within a foot of me. And I'm like, what the hell? And I said, Robin, I have to be able to get out and go to the bathroom if I have to. She goes, I don't care. You're going to have to deal with it. She puts the chair in between her cot and the tent wall. So now there's like a 3-foot gap or 3-foot object in between her. And now she's narrowed the distance, for a foot away from me. I said, this isn't right. Why can't you handle this? And she goes, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with that. She goes, there, now I can go back to sleep. I said, Robin, aside, if this is an adult Sasquatch sitting outside, they can reach in and touch you and touch me. And she was like, I thought she knew this. And she was like, I don't need to hear that, Patrick. I don't need to hear that at all. I do not need to hear this. No, I don't need to hear this. So she's all zipped up and she goes, please God, please God, please God, don't let it touch me, please God. And here I'm sitting there thinking, you're supposed to be this Bigfoot guru. And the littlest noise outside, and it sends you right through the roof. Huh. I've been shaken up and down like a ketchup bottle with a juvenile. She's afraid of a stick break. All right. So she eventually goes to sleep. And as I'm laying there, I can hear the sound of something walking around us. So we had a bipedal something walking around behind us. Could have been a person, but there was no light. There was no flashlight going on. There was nothing. Because if a light hitting the tent, we would see that glow. There was nothing. There's also snow on the ground at random places in that area. And this thing goes back about 30, 40 feet behind us. So that I was kind of sitting there listening to it. And eventually it sounds like it sits down in the snow. And I'm like, oh, that's odd. I never heard that before. And you could hear it kind of like kind of getting comfortable. I was like, oh, that's also weird. Eventually I fall asleep because I'm listening to the wind that's blowing around out there. And I thought, great. So I go to sleep. Nothing happens that night. So I get up about when I started hearing the birds making noise. The sun hasn't really come up yet, but the area is glowing, and like the morning is about to happen, but all the birds are singing and carrying on. So I get up and I can't see my shoes. I don't know where I took them off at, but I had my slippers there, slipped them in, and for whatever reason, I brought my robe with me. And I put the robe on and I grabbed my camera. So I've got like my shirt, my coat, my robe, and then I got sweatpants on and a pair of slippers. So I go walking out. I feel like I'm Hawkeye Pierce from MASH 4077. So I'm wandering around out there in the woods wearing this stuff, right? And I'm taking pictures of random things. And I decided to go back behind the tent. As I'm walking around back there, I hear one whoop whoop, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I go walking back, and I find these two indentations in the snow. I've seen the same thing at a different spot in Colorado where this was indentations um, in dirt, and it was hard packed dirt, but they had two body like forms that were in it, and I was like, that's crazy. I take a picture of that and I'm looking around so I start walking to the edge. And the edge kind of goes, it's misleading. You walk up to it and it looks like it just stops. But no, it has this long slope to it. So I go walking up to one part of it and I start taking pictures. Click, 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 click. And I'm going all the way across. And I get to a point and I'm like, okay, this is great. And out of nowhere, I hear the perfect wood knock, a singular knock, coming right down from the edge. Now, Mike wakes up at some point. He comes walking out, and he realizes I'm not in the cot, and he's looking around for me, and he sees me over by the edge, kind of sinking down because I'm going down the slope. I don't know if it goes down to the road or if it goes dink and just drops off, in which case I would probably fall 50, 60 feet to my death, probably. And I'm out there just filming this stuff, and Mike comes up and goes, what are you doing? And I said, just filming. Did you hear the wood knock? And he goes, I woke up to it. And I say, yeah, it came from right over here. And when the wood knock happened, I raised my hand and said, over here, I'm right here, letting him know right where I'm at. I don't care if Sasquatch knows where I'm at. I don't know why people whisper. They can hear us just fine. But they're like, do you hear the Bigfoot? And they are probably right closer than you think they are to you. And you just don't have any idea. They don't always stink, just so you know. It's kind of a misnomer. So I said, no, I'm just taking photographs and stuff. He goes, oh, and so I walked back and I showed him the indentation in the snow, and he was like, oh, that's pretty cool. He goes, well, what could have caused that? I said, I don't know. It looks like something sat down and just kind of laid down into the snow. It looks kind of like that. And he goes, it does look like that. So he took a picture of that. We eventually get Robin up. We tear down the campsite, and we're getting ready to go home. And I said, let's go ahead and go back out and look at that plate. He goes, yeah, let's go do that. And Robin's like, oh, yeah, they probably ate it all up. Oh, you guys didn't want to believe that they weren't there. They ate it all up. Oh, yeah. And we had to listen to this going all the way back to that fence. Well, I got ahead of him. And I was like, I don't want to listen to this crap no more. So I get far enough ahead. I get through the gate, I walk around the berm. They're now coming into the gate. And Mike's like, do you see it? And I said, yeah. And I walk over, I look at it, and I just crack up laughing. I laughed so hard. I took a picture, click, and I walk back. And he goes, well, and I said, you'll be surprised. And he goes, well, it's very rare that nothing eats it because of all the predators in the area. Mike walks around the corner and goes, what the hell? And she walks over and goes, what? And there was the full, complete plate of all the food. Nothing was touched. No teeth marks, no grabbing. There was no pieces on the ground. There was nothing. It was all intact on that plate. She goes, Mike, I swear to God, I saw something standing or eating it. He goes, Robin, we didn't see it. He goes, I saw them eating it. And he goes, well, clearly they weren't eating it. So they ended up we all went back home. I'm going to talk about a couple other events that we were involved with her. And one of the events was a big event, and she hosted it too. and I brought my gear out, and she didn't like that. I'm going to show footage of that event. That might be a 2 or 3 video thing also. But this is the end of this. I will post. This was supposed to go out yesterday on Wednesday, and because I'm looking through pictures and stuff, I wasn't able to do it. But I will hopefully have this thing, both videos out today. Anyway, my name is Patrick. This is Sasquatch in the Wild, and I hope you're enjoying your journey. And I will see you soon. Bye.